Okay, today we are learning about the line of best fit for a scatter plot. So, yesterday we learned about scatter plots, just graphs with a bunch of dots everywhere, and we learned about correlation. So, correlation, positive correlation looks like the graph's kind of following a positive or going a trend going up. Negative correlation kind of looks like the trend is going down, and no correlation means it looks like the points are just randomly scattered everywhere. So, a line of best fit is a linear line, or at least it'll be linear in eighth grade. A line of best fit is a linear or straight line that follows the trend of the data. So, for example, what we have here on the screen, a whole bunch of data points. The line of best fit, which is drawn here, is a straight line that kind of follows the pattern of the data. So you can see that the points are slowly going down. We would call this a negative correlation. Points are slowly going down, which means our line of best fit is also going down at about the same kind of angle, you can see, that the points are also following it. So here we have a different graph from before, but some poor examples of a line of best fit. So for example, you can tell here's the points, here's the points, here's the points, couple of outliers like you saw on your homework yesterday. But connecting these outliers and drawing a line, which in this case has a negative slope, this is not a good line of best fit or best fit line because it does not follow the general trend of all the data. Maybe it's showing the trend of the two outliers, right? The outliers look like they start high and they go down like a negative correlation. But the general trend of all the data, it's starting low and it's going up. Our line of best fit should look something like a positive slope. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have next. Now, all of these have positive slopes. And this is where it gets a little bit trickier. Looking at this one, we can tell that it kind of lines up with these top points, but it really has nothing to do with the bottom ones. What we really want is a line, something like one of these two, that matches up with as much of the data as we can. This one's getting a little bit better, but it still is kind of leaving out the stuff on top and below. Right here is our best line of best fit because it goes through as much of the data as it can and it follows that trend in general. Now you'll notice that what we've just done is in general. We drew a line that follows the trend in general, or it works more or less. There's not always going to be one perfect line, at least in eighth grade. If you take like statistics in college, there is a way to solve the exact perfect line. We're not doing that. So for example, what we have here is 3 different lines that could all be really great lines of best fit. So when you're drawing a line of best fit, you might get something a little bit different from maybe a peer or someone else. As long as it's following the trend of the data, that's okay. Now, sometimes like this, it is a lot harder to tell where should the line of best fit be because the data is so spread out. This looks more like no correlation. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of a positive correlation, but sometimes a line of best fit is just not going to be perfect for the data. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you a couple of pretty easy examples here. So here's our first one. A line of best fit should look, wow, that was a terrible line, but it should be a straight line that looks something like that, okay? When you do your assignments on ALEKS, you'll obviously be able to draw straight lines better. Here, it should be a straight line going something like this. And then here, I mean, maybe it's going down, maybe it's going across. This one's just not going to have a really perfect line of best